RadioOnFire.com, yours truly, Diamond K, in here. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for logging on, and thank you for joining me. We are on the heels of the WWE Royal Rumble, the 2015 edition. A lot of interesting things happened, a lot of good things, and some things that were less than interesting. Always, the Royal Rumble is one of the biggest events of the year as far as wrestling, and they say that the Royal Rumble kicks off the WrestleMania season, which is like the Super Bowl of professional wrestling. So what I want to do now is I want to talk about some of the results from the Royal Rumble. Of course, we're going to talk about the Royal Rumble match and a lot of things. I definitely want to start with the Royal Rumble matchup. That's the event that's the matchup that's just definitely on my mind right now since that just transpired. The match started out with The Miz and R-Truth. Now, there's no way that you thought that The Miz was going to win the Royal Rumble. No way you thought R-Truth was going to win. But the two started it off, and the big surprise came, and the big surprise came early for longtime wrestling fans when you heard the Bubba Ray Dudley music play in the Philly city that Bubba Dudley, I want to say, made famous in. When his music hit, I was surprised. I thought that he was still under contract with TNA Impact Wrestling. Definitely a surprise there. I had not kept up with his contract status because I just assumed that he had resigned. I remember hearing that he resigned, but to hear his music play definitely was a surprise. He was in his classic Bubba Ray Dudley gear with the glasses, the camouflage, the whole thing. The Philly crowd ate it up and definitely was into what he had going on. Some other highlights in the Royal Rumble matchup: Luke Harper and the rest of that group tried to get a little redemption on Bray Wyatt. The Boogeyman, another person that made a surprise appearance. Of course, not the reception of a Bubba Ray Dudley. Now, Bray Wyatt said that this was his year, and he had a very good showing in the Royal Rumble. But Luke Harper and Eric Rowan did not get their redemption fully. But they started it off. Sin Cara and the like, not really a chance of winning in there, just for some filler. Daniel Bryan looked refreshed after his 9-month absence due to various injuries, but the crowd fully behind Daniel Bryan, and they were upset naturally at his early elimination. I would have liked to have seen him make it to the end, or at least get into that final four, but he was nowhere near it, and that's probably because the powers that be just want to keep him down. Another surprising entrant, DDP, Diamond Dallas Page from WCW fame, and it was really good to see him. He got a couple diamond cutters off, but eventually was eliminated. Big Show, very dominant. Kane, also dominant. But then you had some people that, some people, why do they even bother having them come out? The Tyson kids, Kofi Kingston, somebody that's always exciting in the Royal Rumble. Less than exciting this year. He had an interesting spot where the Rosebuds caught him when he was going to be eliminated and put him back in the ring, only to not be in place when they were really needed. And Adam Rose was eliminated. Cesaro had some good spots, got some, got his move off, if you will. And speaking of if you will, the Dust Brothers eliminating each other, or attempting to eliminate each other rather, and just fighting. When Damien Sandow, Mizdow's opportunity presented itself, the Miz tried to take his opportunity, but Sandow went in the ring only to be eliminated quickly. I really think that when they let this guy loose, he is going to really do some damage. But unfortunately, this was not his time. People like Big E, why do they even let him get dressed? Why even get in the ring at all? Interesting, Rusev came in midway through the match, was never eliminated. I did not notice it. The Philly crowd picked up on everything, and either someone saw him or they had to see him. I'm sure that they didn't remember that he wasn't eliminated. Curtis Axel, who actually was in the Rumble, but Eric Rowan just took his place. Very old school there. Took his place, hit him, and jumped in the ring, but eventually was eliminated, as I said earlier. So when we finally get down to it, the final four, and that's what I want to talk about. Really, it was the final five, but the final four, as they were telling the story, came down to the Big Show, Kane, Dean Ambrose, and Roman Reigns. The number 30 entrant, before I go further, the number 30 entrant, Dolph Ziggler, I knew had no chance of winning, so we'll skip right past that. But in the final four segment, you had former members of the Shield, and Big Show and Kane. Those two got it on. Dean Ambrose was quickly eliminated, coming down to the three final, Big Show, Kane, and Roman Reigns. It was clear where this was going. Right before you get an elimination of Roman Reigns, it breaks down with Big Show and Kane. They start unraveling. Fight ensues. Reigns eliminates both of them. The crowd rejected this, though. So he's the winner. The crowd rejects this. They were not into Roman Reigns. I don't feel that it is his time. However, the powers that be feel ready, and that's what's going to happen. So Roman Reigns wins the Royal Rumble. Now, Kane and Big Show re-enter the ring and start putting the boots to Roman Reigns. As I looked at the time and I saw that it was about 10:40 Eastern Standard Time, I said, they got something else in store here. And on cue, The Rock's music plays. He hits the ring. The crowd does react very well to The Rock. And together with his family member, Roman Reigns, they put the brakes, the beat down, the boots to asses to the Big Show and Kane, get them out of the ring. Now, I thought that, interestingly, The Rock leaves the ring. Rusev enters the ring as the person that was not eliminated, only to have himself eliminated by Roman Reigns. As I said, the crowd gave this away earlier. Now, the bell rang twice, so they're trying to tell the story that they did not realize that Rusev was not eliminated. But all in all, the crowd, just rejected Roman Reigns. He did not get that superstar reaction. He did not get the reaction that Daniel Bryan got. At least Daniel Bryan would have been a better pick. But as I look at it and as I think about it, if Daniel Bryan was anywhere near the Final Four, they would have booed Roman Reigns even more. Some of the other match results, the Bella Twins defeated Paige and Natalya. Usos defeated Miz and Mizdow. The Ascension defeated the New Age Outlaws, and Cesaro and Tyson Kidd, of course, beat Kofi Kingston and Big E in the kickoff match. Now, the match of the evening was Brock Lesnar, Seth Rollins, and John Cena. Interesting match here. Clearly, Cena was a heel as it relates to the Philly crowd, and they booed him out of the building. Brock Lesnar getting a lot of applause. Seth Rollins is a grimy heel. He reminds me of Shawn Michaels in a lot of ways, but in the end, in a very good match, very good three-way dance, Brock Lesnar retains his title, and they're saying that he had some type of rib damage, broken rib, something like that. But Brock Lesnar, awesome in his successful defense. What were your thoughts on the Royal Rumble? Was this a thumbs up or thumbs down show? I'd like to know your thoughts. I feel as though it was a slight thumbs up. More than slight. I would give it a 7 out of 10 for the 2015 Royal Rumble. There was no Sting sightings. I would have liked to have seen him, but I think that we're going to see him pretty soon. As always, immediately following any WWE event, we will do a post show, and once a week we will be doing our review show of This Week in Wrestling. So with that being said, on Instagram and Twitter, I am at The Diamond K Show. Let me know your thoughts, and RadioOnFire.com is where you go to hear more of our shows. Thanks for listening. I will see you guys next time.
Radio on Fire is a digital network covering breaking news, sports, and entertainment. Check out our daily programs, articles, and all types of exclusive urban content right now at RadioOnFire.com.